Welcome to the rundown. My name is Ryan.
My name is Ray. Ryan, let's
Ray,
get into it.
it's been an eventful week, I think, in all phases of sports. But first off,
hmm
we have to talk about OKC, Spurs, King Wemby taking the crown.
Face of the league, Wimby.
I'm impressed. I was so happy.
Absolutely.
Actually,
hmm
what I was really happy about was that my pick for the East died so quickly in the Celtics that it really felt good, and I felt a little vindicated that I
Okay.
called the Spurs winning the West. So I'm
Okay. Fair. You did.
pleased
You
with
did.
that happening.
Give credit where credit's due.
But I got to tell you, that was a hell of a game, and to watch OKC just really fall apart. Chet Holmgren in particular playing the worst I think I've ever
Hmm.
seen. And
That was one of the
just
biggest choke jobs I've seen since like Ben Simmons. Like I'm going back to Ben Simmons getting the ball under the basket and passing out of a wide
oh
open layup.
no.
Like that was one of the biggest choke jobs I've seen. But Chet Holmgren, I have no words for what I witnessed in that game 7 from him.
What did
You
he
want to
have?
talk
4
about
points?
disappear? 4 points on 2 attempted shots all game.
I
Both of them came within the first 4 minutes of the first quarter. Think about that.
that's
From
I
that moment on, he did not, not to say he didn't miss a shot. He didn't attempt one more shot for the rest of the game. You can't make this up. Like
that was crazy.
I've never seen a complete just meltdown, like
Yeah.
choke job. I don't even know the words to describe mind you, so like what makes all this interesting is days before that happened, the all NBA teams were announced.
Mhm.
And that guy, Chet Holmgren, was on third team all NBA, which I was a little surprised to see that. I'm just gonna put that out there. I was a little surprised to
Mhm.
see him on any all NBA team. Like granted it was the third, but so if we're looking at OKC in totality, Chet, you made third team all NBA. You should in theory be the second best player on that team.
For
Right?
sure.
That'd be good. Like
For sure.
correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not
It's not even
bugging.
a question. Yeah.
Okay. Like J-Dub, we all understand what he is. OKC absolutely missed his presence, especially in that game
Mhm.
7, especially
Mhm.
with the way that Chet played. But J-Dub aside, you made third all team all NBA. You have SGA in your team. You should be the second best player
Mhm.
on that team. And for
Mhm.
you to attempt 2 shots in a
Mhm.
game 7 when you're across from Wemby, and the basketball world realizes the rivalry that's there between those
Yeah,
two.
for
It's
sure.
been going on for a very long time now. And we all recognize Wemby as the better player, but that doesn't mean that you have to take 2 shots against him.
That doesn't
Like
mean you have to play
show some
that
fight,
badly.
show some heart.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
Ryan, it's not even I can't even say he played bad. Like I
He
can't.
didn't play.
Like to me, playing bad is you go 2 for 12 shooting.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a bad game for you. But you go 1 of 2 and both of your 2 shots were attempted within tip off
Mhm.
of the first
Mhm.
quarter. That's unforgivable.
I hate to say, I don't believe you can ever really blame one person for a game demise. Like, I just don't believe in that. It's a team
Okay,
sport for a
fair.
reason. However, you being absolutely non existent in this game cost your team.
Literally
Cost it.
non-existent.
And you know what? If I was coach, I would have benched him. I would have benched
But he did. So like he got benched those
soon.
crucial minutes in the fourth quarter. Like he got benched during that time. But that's another thing. You have played yourself out of a game 7. Like you just got announced as one of the 15 best players in the NBA, top 15 player. And you were benched in crunch time of a game 7 that was going to potentially send your team to its second consecutive NBA finals.
Mhm.
I don't get it. I don't know what
I
happened to
would
him.
have.
He's scared of Wemby. Like that's the only explanation that
That
I
was
have.
very
He's
clear.
terrified of Wemby.
I would have benched him at the half. I don't care how much money you make. I don't
No,
care what
you're
you were
right.
just chosen for. You were not playing in that game. I would have rather
Mm-hmm.
given the spot to somebody else who would at least would have tried, you know. And that's not to say that like I think they would have ended up victorious anyway, because I
Yeah.
don't think that that would have happened. But I do think that that could have given them a spark, that could have given them something new, you know, to do. And now I I think the Spurs look fairly unstoppable. I know the Knicks are playing well. And again, I'm not going to take that. My hate will not allow for me to take that out of the picture because it is true. They're playing
Yeah.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just going to say that you've played the 76ers and you played the Cavs. So like, let's calm down on like, you're playing well, but let's also look at who you played
Hawks.
and the Hawks. Okay. So we're not, you know, it's not all
But
star
you
over
picked the
here.
Hawks.
Not,
You did pick the
I
Hawks in
did.
that series though.
Hey, it looked like for a second they were going to do it.
Yes.
CJ McCollum for a hot minute was like on fire, but
Mm-hmm.
I just think if I was a member of the Knicks team, if I was a Knicks fan, I was
Yeah.
praying for OKC to come out of that because they're banged up, they're not altogether whole, and I do think that the finals would have been a much easier path for the Knicks had OKC won and made it through. And now I think it's a lot more difficult for them to make it through.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say. I don't know. J Dub, does he come back for that series? I mean, and then what version of him do we get if he does play in the NBA finals if OKC wins that game? But like unstoppable, I don't know. I'm not gonna use that word right now for the Spurs.
I'm going to.
The Knicks look unstoppable. But listen, the reason I
That's
can't use
no,
that word for
absolutely
the
not.
Spurs is one because they just went 7 games, right? So
Hmm.
like they can lose.
They
And the
can.
games that they lost, if you look at the games they won in that series against the games that they lost against OKC, Wembanyama in the games that they lost, I mean, they had a pretty good handle on him. He didn't play good in the games
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
OKC lost in that series. And then the games that he played like one of the best players in the NBA, they won
Hmm.
those games, right?
Hmm.
But OKC, at the very least for the Knicks, showed them that there's a formula to be successful against San Antonio, right? You bottle
Yeah.
up, you
Yeah.
bottle up Wemby, you get real physical on him. If he doesn't have a great shooting game, like it is possible to take him out the game. Like we
For
have
sure.
seen that.
For sure.
But we've also seen the version of him that can't be stopped.
Yeah.
That looks unstoppable, looks like you can't take him out of the game at certain times. So it really comes down to which version of Wemby we see. I'm interested to see the kind of defense that the Knicks play against the
Hmm.
Spurs. What's also interesting is that these two teams played 3 times in the regular season, and the Knicks took 2 of those games.
Hmm.
One of those games being the NBA Cup game. So the Knicks have shown that they have had success against the
Yeah.
Spurs as recently as this year. So
Hmm.
I don't expect them to go into this series scared. They're coming off, I believe, 11 straight victories. The Knicks, the
Listen, you
11,
can't take that
11
away
straight
from them.
victories to get
You
to the
can't.
finals. They're looking
Yeah.
around at themselves like they're not scared of anybody, whether it had been OKC that made it, the
Hmm.
Spurs that officially did make it. The Knicks are looking around at what they've done the last 11 games since they were down 2-1 to the Hawks in the first round. They have not lost since. It was over a month ago. So they're going into these finals with a lot of confidence, and I'm just excited. This is a rematch of the 99 finals. That was actually the
Hmm.
first year I ever watched basketball. So I remember
Really.
that finals, yes. It was the first year I ever watched basketball. That's as early back as I can remember. So it should be definitely be a really exciting
Hmm.
finals. Not gonna give our takes just yet. We're gonna wait till the end of the episode to give those out and let you know who we're feeling in the finals. But I'm just excited. Either way, this was
Yeah.
gonna be a
I think
great
it'll be
finals.
good.
But
Hmm.
the thing about like Wemby in Madison Square Garden in the finals, like this is gonna be some great basketball. I'm actually excited. Actually
I
excited. And as somebody
just,
that doesn't have any like I have no dogs in this fight, and I'm still super excited.
you know what I think I want the most
I do
is
want the Knicks to
just
lose
for
though.
Wemby to shut Timothy Chalamet the fuck up. That's
Oh
actually
my
all I
god.
want.
There's so many people you could have a problem with in this world. And I feel like Timothy Chalamet should be real low on that
I don't
list.
know. He's right up there. I don't know why. Anyway, but I'm excited. I think this is going to be a great series. In fact, I think this is probably a more exciting matchup than I think OKC would have been. Because I'm really just excited to see how the Knicks play against Wemby. And I will say that especially in like the first quarter that I saw, it kind of got a little sloppy at times, but there's a lot of ball
Yeah.
movement from
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Spurs. When it was clean, it was fantastic to
The
watch. When it
Spurs
was
play a
sloppy, it
good brand of
was
basketball. They do.
not the best. But they're a
And
scrappy
they got such a
team.
deep team.
hmm
They
They
got such
do.
a deep
That's
team.
the thing about them. You have like 7 quality players who can come
Mm-hmm.
in at any time and keep a hold of the game, move it forward. You're not, so much worried about resting
Mm-hmm.
people as much.
Yep. Yep.
And, I mean, the Knicks
And
have people. I'm not disavowing that, but when Brunson's not on the floor and Brunson's having a good game, it makes a difference. You see it when he leaves. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, but I think it'll be a good series again. Like Ray said, we'll tell you our picks at the end, but I'm excited for this finals. I didn't think I would be because I was really upset about the East, but I'm coming around. I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be
Well,
okay.
the Knicks have given us reason to be excited because
Yeah.
we really all had a foregone conclusion, I think, at the beginning of the playoffs. And some people may still feel this way, but that the West was the powerhouse.
Mhm.
And regardless of who made it to the finals in the West, whether, and I'm talking before the playoffs started, whether it be Denver, San Antonio, OKC, like one of those top
Mhm.
3 teams, the consensus was that the East was written off regardless
Mhm.
of who
Yeah,
made
I
it.
would say that
Detroit,
that's true.
Boston, New
Mhm.
York, like maybe not so much Boston now that Tatum had returned. I think people did put some stock in that.
How
But
disappointing was that?
yeah,
Jesus,
yeah,
still.
yes. But I think just widely recognized that the West really had the better of the top teams this year.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I think the Knicks have kind of changed their perception there just a little bit. I don't maybe not for you, but
I
I
don't
don't
think I'm
think
ever gonna
I think I
change.
given the way the Knicks like made their way to the finals because
Mhm.
like okay, they won 11 consecutive games. They
Yeah.
haven't lost since the first round. Okay, that's one thing.
It's
But
impressive.
the
Yeah.
way that they are winning, like
Mhm.
they're
It's
beating
very dominant.
teams. They're beating
Mhm.
teams by 20, 30, 40 points. Like
Mhm.
the last couple of closeout games that they had, the Sixers, and then this last round against why am I
The
blanking?
Cavs. Yeah.
The
The
Cavs.
Cavs. Because it was
Like
forgettable.
they're beating these teams so bad it's literally forgettable. But
Yeah.
those last 2 game 4s, they
Mhm.
completely like there was just no question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the Knicks mean business and they look just like well oiled. The rust or lack thereof from sweeping the Sixers that didn't carry over to that Cavs
Mhm.
series clearly. So I don't think that's really going to happen against the Spurs.
Mhm.
They look like a team that I can't just dismiss
True.
based off the
True.
West being
You
strong
can't.
anymore. I can't.
As much as I would love to dismiss them immediately, you can't. And you're absolutely correct. Winning 11 consecutive games in the playoffs, no matter who you're playing, is a feat. That is
Hmm.
impressive. We can't take that away from them, much to my chagrin, but it is what it is. And, the city's excited, and they should
The
be.
city is excited. They
The city
absolutely
is
should be.
excited, and they should be.
And San
Yeah.
Antonio's excited too. Because
Yes.
listen, like no more Greg Popovich. He's still with the team,
Yeah.
but not in the coaching capacity that, a lot of fans are used to seeing him in. But like I would love to see them win a championship. One more championship for Pop. Because he's old,
Yeah.
he's had a lot of health issues. Like
Mhm.
but I appreciate him. I consider him one of the top 2 greatest coaches of all time in basketball. I put him up there with Phil Jackson.
Mhm.
I think it's really between those 2. And either way, I'm not really mad at either argument. It's really
Mhm.
1A and 1B for me when it comes to them. But if they can
Yeah.
do one more for Pop, then I think that would be special too. So
You
these cities
know,
got a lot to play for.
I think regardless of whether the Spurs win or not, get ready for them to be dominant for the next couple of years. This
Oh,
is a young
absolutely.
team. This is a team that is ready to prove themselves. And OKC, I believe, will also be back. I think that's also a team that, they'll be back. They're young. They can, Chet might get shipped off somewhere,
I
but
was just about to ask you, what do you do in the offseason if you're OKC? Do you look at getting him out of here? And then by him, I mean Chet.
well, listen, again, I don't think he was that effective in this series, if I'm being honest as a whole,
I think you're
but
being polite.
I am being polite. Well, I don't think that that is.
Jesus.
Listen,
He was just a non-factor, bro.
here's the thing. People have bad series. The problem with, and listen, and everybody has moments where they are not good at their job. The problem with being not good at your job and a professional athlete is that it fucks up a lot of things. It's not just like you're at a desk job and something didn't get turned in on time. Like, no, like millions of people are watching you. You're losing money, you lose incentives, like all of these things. So I don't
Aura?
I think it's well, I don't really feel like Chet had a lot of aura to begin with, if I'm being honest, but the aura
Chet's
of
been
Matt.
pretty well, he's been pretty well liked around the league, which is why people are like, what the fuck? What just happened? What happened to you, bro? Like, you lost all your powers like it was like Space Jam. Like the Monstars took your abilities. Now, for real. He wouldn't
Like
even attempt a shot. He's passing out
uh
from right under the rim. I don't know what
he
happened to him.
I don't know. I just want him to eat a burger. Like I know he eats, but I need you to eat more. Like
Him
this
and Wemby
doesn't
can't help it.
look healthy. Well, Wemby looks more healthy than Chet. Chet looks a little like
Yeah.
he makes meth in a trailer.
The
That's
bar's
the
low,
vibe
though.
that I get. It's bar, but it's very low to the ground. But I
Yeah.
don't think you write him off completely. I think it's premature to trade. But I would say that if we get to the beginning of the season, this trend is continuing, then you make some decisions before the deadline. But I don't necessarily I think it's a little premature to talk about shipping him off. Just like I think trade stuff with Jaylen Brown is also premature. I feel like there's so much talk of trading, and I'm like, can everyone just take a second?
Yeah, but if you think
Really
about it,
think about this.
Boston, and now I don't understand why these talks will come up again with Jaylen Brown. But if you think about it, before the Celtics got that championship,
Mm-hmm.
there was discussion of splitting those two up for a long
Yeah.
time, and Jalen, and because we all recognize Jason Tatum as being the better of the two, it was
Mm-hmm.
always Jaylen Brown's name that was floated around in trade rumors. But then they won the championship, and those talks stopped. So to me, I don't understand why those talks would restart. They've already proven that they can win together. Last two years, first against the Knicks, and then this most recent one. Yeah, not what you want to see. But
Mm-mm.
I still think they've already shown you that they can get it done together.
Mm-hmm.
You look to see what you can build around them that was similar to that 2024 championship season.
Yeah.
You don't
Agreed.
look to break them up.
Agreed. Well, I will just have to see what the offseason holds. I think there's going to be a lot of shifting of parts with many teams. OKC may be one of them. We'll have to see. But I think it's a little premature to do so. But I would also understand if that was the decision. I wouldn't be surprised. But I think it's
Yeah.
premature. But you know. Another NBA news: Steph Curry just got $400 million on a shoe deal.
Pay that man. Should have been Nike though.
Well,
Should have been Nike. But Steph, get your money. I love it. So
I
he was a
think
sneaker free agent for 6 months. 6 months
that's
he was
kind of
wearing some
crazy.
Nikes. Yeah.
I think he should now take a large pay cut, and they should just bring as much talent as they can to Golden State. And I'm not sure LeBron is the answer to that, although that rumor is floating around a
Bron, go to
lot.
Golden
But
State. Yeah, I saw
what are
that.
you
Yo,
gaining out of this?
yeah. You gonna tell me they don't have a chance to win a championship together on the same team?
No, they don't. I can
Yes,
say
they
that to
do.
you right
Come
now
on.
without thinking.
Yes, they do. Yes, they
No,
do. Come
absolutely
on.
not. What?
LeBron had the Lakers without Luka in the second round when I don't feel like they should have been. You mean to tell me him and Steph Curry Steph Curry, I mean, Steph Curry didn't exactly have a bad year in Golden State. You're gonna tell me they can't
You're
get it done together?
just they're
Jimmy Butler, the three of them.
let's not bring up Jimmy Butler. Okay, I feel we're getting into the overrated state with Jimmy Butler, right? But everybody, if you
Okay,
talk
I
about
was
who
there at
you
one
just
point, but
named, it's
I've seen him
all
perform.
aging. You're all aging.
I understand that, but I have faith anyway. I don't give a damn.
Okay. I
I
don't
have faith
think it'll
anyway.
go very far, but will it give people
Never
a
did
good
I ever
show?
think I'd want to see
Sure.
those two together, but I
Well, I mean,
understand
they
where
had a
we're
lot of
at in both
battles
of their
there.
careers. Yes, and
We'll
now
have to see.
I'm okay with the thought. Team up, get my
Here's
boy Steph another one. And you know what? If they win one together, then that just means Steph is still tied with him, and LeBron can't move ahead of him. So I'd rather them win one together than LeBron win one without him.
Well, whatever decision he makes, I hope he just makes it quickly. I don't really want to be, it's like end of August and we're still questioning what's happening. So, let's move on quickly and, make some decisions. That's my hope for the NBA. But speaking of decisions, the NFL decided to make a whole bunch within a week. Biggest one being Myles Garrett.
I was hoping we wouldn't go here.
Longer, you have to go here. This is by far the biggest thing that has happened.
Outside of the finals is definitely the biggest story in sports right now.
Myles Garrett traded to the Rams for a first round pick, a couple of more picks to come, I think. Which I gotta say, as a fan of an NFC team, I mean,
not what you want to see.
No,
not what you like to see.
I mean, I think you're looking at the Super Bowl contender in the Los Angeles Rams.
You think
I don't think that's
with that move? Did you think they were there before, or did you think that
definitely a contender for sure?
I think. Yeah.
I think top.
You think that the jump is that significant?
Yes, absolutely. Myles Garrett, in my opinion, is. You know what? No, I'm going to say it. Myles Garrett, in my opinion, is the best player in the NFL right now. The best. Yeah. And you traded him away.
Yeah, don't say you. I was not a part of that deal.
You, as Cleveland.
I was not a part of that conversation.
Ray, you're already shopping
that conversation
for a
would
new
not
team.
Have happened.
I feel like that happened and you're like, I'm going to start looking for a new team.
You said what? No. No. Yes. Me?
If Shedeur leaves you are done. You are officially done with the Cleveland
I got like 8 toes out of the door at this point, for real. Like I'm basically gone with Myles Garrett, not necessarily to the Rams, but it's like it's been one season, and this is like one of the worst seasons of fandoms
Terrible.
I've lived through the 12-70 Brooklyn Nets. Maybe they were the New Jersey Nets at the time. I think they still were. They were 12-70, guys. One of the worst records of all time, single season. And somehow this one season of me being a Browns fan has been comparable, if not worse than that. Like it's just been from the Shedeur back and forth to the off-season conversations of Deshaun Watson is in the starting QB1 conversation to trading I think Myles fucking Garrett, who, mind you, just signed this guy. Just re-signed this guy. Re-signed him. Like, what was the point? You should have just let him walk in, because that was before I was invested. I would have cared less.
Just left before. Well, but I got to tell you, Deshaun Watson, this guy is like a bad penny. Like, he keeps reappearing. And I got to tell you, because he got a $230 million guaranteed contract, which should have never happened. This is why Myles Garrett had to leave. Salary cap issues. So you're going to trade away the best player in the NFL for a quarterback that I'm not even convinced should physically or morally still be in the league.
Oh, but this is the Browns, and this is kind of decisions that they make.
I feel like,
these are the kind of decisions that they make, and this is why they're mired in mediocrity. This is exactly why.
Every team in the AFC North is popping champagne over this. Joe Burrow must be the happiest motherfucker alive right now. He now no longer has to play Myles Garrett twice a year.
Now, mind
Aaron
you,
Rodgers too, because that man doesn't like to get hit anymore. He's too old.
irrelevant. At this point, irrelevant. But
Yeah.
like, silver lining, they did get Jared Verse back in the deal. Like,
That's a
Verse,
teeny tiny
he's
silver lining.
pro bowler. Okay, he's a pro bowler. Like he's good, and I respect the Browns for at least saying we're not going to get this deal done unless unless Jared Versus was a part of that deal. So I got to find some silver lining here, Ryan. I have to.
Sure.
I have no choice.
All right.
Like this
You do you.
it hasn't been a pleasant 24 hours being a Browns fan at all.
No.
I think Deshaun Watson might be my starting quarterback. I just lost, like you said, top player in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a question for you, right? So when they signed Myles Garrett to that 4-year deal, right? 4 years, $160 million, getting paid $40 million a year, which he absolutely deserved.
Yes, for sure.
Wasn't Deshaun Watson still on the roster?
Mm-hmm.
And weren't the Browns still paying him that money?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you knew that you still were going to have this contract on the books in a couple of years when you signed Myles Garrett. But now in 2026, now it's become a deterrent to you, a detriment, if you will. So yeah, the Browns are full of it. Let's see what happens with Shador. That's all I got to say.
Well, good luck to the Browns. It's not going to be an easy road for you. So, I can tell even when you start watching in September, you're going to be so happy when basketball comes back. Actually, I don't even think you're going to be watching football in September. You're going to be watching baseball, and that's going to be everything you're hoping on.
Yeah.
You're not. Football's not going to be on your radar.
No.
No.
It's going to go right from baseball to basketball. I'm just going to phase right over football. No need to
we're
discuss
just
it.
Gliding over that. Yeah. In other news in the NFL, AJ Brown went to the Patriots in a move that surprised absolutely nobody. 0 people surprised by that. Let's hope he's happy. Can't imagine that he will be, but we'll see.
I'm sure he'll be happy game 1, and maybe by game 7 we'll be hearing that he's not getting enough touches. The ball's not finding him.
You're giving him game 7?
And
I'm giving game 4.
Well, it's a new team, so maybe he's not as comfortable coming in just yet to speak so soon. But
I like that he's going from one team that has problems with coaching and all of that jazz to another team that also has problems with coaching, but in a different way.
Right.
In a different way.
Different? Well, yeah. In what way might that be?
Well, I think the Patriots coaching problems really revolve around Mike Vrabel not keeping it in his pants. But I think that's, unlike.
Indeed.
What was happening
Dirty
in Philly.
Diana. Dirty Diana.
Jesus. Terrible. Haven't heard any news about that lately, but I'm waiting because I feel like it'll pop up again.
It'll percolate again.
Expected.
Yep.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't think he's going to be. Is he going to be happy that he's number 1 and probably getting a lot of those touches? Sure. But, your QB is Drake May, and Drake May's not horrible.
He was number 1 in Philly.
Well, he kept dropping everything all the time. Like, listen, it's one thing to say you're not getting touches, and I don't think he was getting touches. But when he was dropping.
That's what I saw.
He did not have
That's what I saw.
So,
that's exactly what I saw, because I remember coming on this podcast and saying, don't complain about not seeing the ball enough, and then when it comes to you, you're dropping it. I said it. I said it here.
For sure.
Yes.
So we'll have to see on that one. I'm not.
It's a good move for the Patriots. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad.
Listen, I'm kind of like joking around about it, but in all actuality, I believe that AJ Brown still has elite wide receiver 1 talent.
Sure.
I genuinely do.
I don't disagree.
So it's a good move for the Patriots. They are absolutely better off after this move than before the deal was made. And Drake May needs some more elite receivers to throw the ball to. So good on them. This definitely doesn't set them back going into this next season. So yeah, good move for the Patriots. And I think that breakup was, everyone saw that coming between AJ and the the
Yeah.
Eagles.
And I don't necessarily think that was a bad move from the Eagles. Like, you getting somebody out of your
Yeah.
locker room that doesn't want to be there, that's
Mm-hmm.
bringing that really negative energy in there. Like,
Sure.
yeah. So I think good moves all around. Good for them. And other irrelevant, in my opinion, trade news, Odell Beckham Jr. back to the Giants. Who cares? I know there are people who do, but
Giants fans do.
your girl is not one of them. I don't
I
know
think
why.
it's
Odell Beckham Jr. has not
nostalgia.
been relevant, and I can't even tell you how long. He was suspended
Well, he
last
hasn't played
year
either.
for performance-enhancing drugs. You know what? I'm sick
Yeah.
of
You
this.
know what? I
I
actually forgot about that.
I am going to
I
say
did.
this loud and very proud. Odell Beckham Jr. is one of the most overrated receivers within the last whenever since he's been drafted. He is completely overrated. You have one
You're gonna
amazing
trigger a
catch, and it was
lot
an
of people with
amazing
this one.
catch. I don't care. And I trigger Knicks fans every day. What is it with me triggering people, New York teams? Here's the thing. You have one amazing catch, and it's an amazing catch, and it's everywhere, and it should be everywhere because it was amazing to see. I watched that game. I
Iconic
remember
moment
seeing
in
it.
NFL
It was
history.
absolutely iconic. He's had a few great seasons. He's a Super Bowl winner, but
Caught a
you
touchdown in the Super
have
Bowl
done
too.
absolutely nothing to promote longevity in your career. You are nowhere. Nowhere. And that's for a variety of reasons, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, I just think you're overrated. And I think people need to calm down with all of this Odell talk. Because you know what? You can throw to me all you want that he's a Super Bowl winner. A lot of people have those rings. A lot of backups have those rings that you've never heard of.
But he caught a
Kickers have
touchdown
those
in the
rings that
Super.
you
He
never.
caught a touchdown in that Super Bowl. In
Joe
fairness to him,
Flacco has
he did.
also won a Super Bowl ring, and we are not talking about him in an elite QB conversation. So, no, there are plenty of people who have rings that we don't need to have a conversation with
But
how they're
moments
elite.
matter.
And I
Moments
don't
matter
believe
too. Moments matter. He had that moment in the playoffs with the Giants. He caught a touchdown in that Super Bowl that he
you.
won.
You mean he did his job? I
Oh, now this.
refuse.
But then if he doesn't do his job, he gets critiqued. You can't have both.
Listen. I believe that while he was playing in the very early years, he was really good. But
Yeah.
when it comes to looking at him versus his contemporaries, it's not a
And listen,
comparison.
I have no dogs in this fight. By the way, I really,
You sound like
like
you
you
do.
said. I know. I really don't care.
No, you're
you're
just excited. You're
actually
just like, please
in
trigger
defense.
more people.
No, in defense to you, like I'm actually not moved by this at all. But I will say I'm not rooting against him. I actually hope he comes
No,
back and like find some of what he had when he in his first stint that he had with the Giants. Like I think that would be a really cool fucking story for the NFL and
sure.
for him and like his legacy. So I'm
Yeah.
like hoping that he
What
finds
legacy?
something. Him and Jackson Dart, like Malik Nape, like, and you got to think about it on the Giants. Like Malik Neighbors is their wide receiver one. Like
But I don't
that's
know what's happening with him. I feel like that's,
yeah, I
yeah.
actually heard he just had another surgery, so
Yeah,
like that
I
kind of
don't think
scares
he's
me.
coming back this season, or it
No,
won't be
I think
till very
so.
late. It
I
won't be
mean,
till
maybe.
later. It won't
Yeah.
start. He won't
But
start.
if you have the two of them on the field together, now I don't know how Odell's gonna look. But I mean, most people are
Slow.
the defense is
old.
gonna be guarding Malik Neighbors, so I'm interested to see if that frees anything up for Odell.
We'll
and
see.
Maybe he could pop
Listen,
off a little bit.
as I've said many times on this podcast, if I am wrong, I will admit that I'm wrong. Will I apologize? No, I will not, but I will admit when I'm wrong. And if he does prove me wrong, well, then good for him. But I just can't get behind all this talk about how elite he is because he just hasn't been functional in so long. And I think that just takes him out of the conversation of elite
I get it.
receivers.
Yeah.
You know? So
His best days are, like realistically probably behind him. But again, we'll see. Let's see how that looks for them. And let's see if he even makes the roster, right? Because isn't the NFL set up like they could see how he looks
I think
early on?
I think he'll stay. I think they'll keep him. I mean,
Did
it
they
could
say what
also
his deal
be.
looked like? Like what his contract looked like? I didn't see any numbers on that.
No, I haven't seen it. I just know
Time,
that he's
dollars,
coming back.
nothing. Okay.
We'll have to see. I mean, I also think like he's How old is he? I don't even know how old he is. 30s, something like that.
Yeah, 30. Actually think like 33. He's about, like
Okay.
pretty close to my
So
age.
he could still have time, but I mean, I think it's nice for him to come back. I always like when people return to teams that have, served them well. So good for him on that, but we'll just really have
Right.
to see.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into a segment that we haven't done in a while. No replays, no excuses, just the takes. This is fair or foul. We're bringing it back. And this week we are talking about the MLB salary cap. Now, I'm going to say this that if you recall, like a very long time ago on the pod, I did talk about how surprised I was that there was no salary cap in baseball. That was a learning moment for
Mm-hmm.
myself. And I'm not vehemently opposed to a cap. I mean, I feel like I engage with so many other sports that do have that. So it's not a surprise to me. It's not like that just seems like something that's very normal. I'm willing to hear the argument for why we shouldn't have one, but I'm kind of inclined to agree that there should be something in place. Baseball's out of control with how much money they're spending. Like
Uh,
it's absurd.
um. So I have mixed feelings on that.
You're gathering a lot of thoughts right now to talk
No,
about
I
this.
am especially based on like what you just said. Okay, so there is a lot of money being spent in baseball, but
Mhm.
like really it's the Dodgers mostly. Like the Dodgers are the ones. Let's be
Everything
honest. Like
comes back to them.
the Dodgers are the ones that have raised. Like they really are the ones that started this huge salary cap and salary floor conversation, right? Because the
Sure.
discrepancy between what the Dodgers are paying their players between like, and I think this was the lowest payroll team last year, the Florida Marlins, right? Like the
Mhm.
discrepancy is huge.
Yeah.
Um, Dodgers are over like 400 million, I believe. And then you have a team like the Marlins that was under 70 million. And we're
Mhm.
talking like 5, 6 times what the Marlins are paying their players, right? But
Mhm.
that problem to me is not really widespread throughout baseball. It really does come down to a handful of teams. So
Mhm.
you have the Dodgers, you have the Mets, who just have an insanely rich owner, right? So they can spend as much money as they want. The
Mhm.
Yankees, who just historically have always spent money.
Yeah.
And then, like other like high market, like large market teams. Like Chicago has a pretty like high payroll, a few other teams. The Cubs, I mean, not the White Sox. We all know the White
No.
Sox don't. Although they
Not
have
the
been better
Southside
this
team.
year. So I'll
They
give them
have.
some
Kudos
credit.
to
They've been
them.
actually kind of exciting.
Kudos to them.
Um, but I feel like if it was more of a problem throughout the league,
Mm.
instead of just a handful of teams that I mentioned, I'd be more inclined to feel like there should be a cap. But at the same time, like selfishly, I mean, the Yankees spend a lot of money. I don't want there to be a cap. Like the Yankees are one of the teams that take advantage of
But
there
I
not being a hard salary cap.
but
I
I
don't want that to
also
change. That's what's made them successful for as long as I've been a fan of them. You know what I mean?
but
So,
if I can give your Yankees a compliment,
mhm.
I feel that yes, they do
You under
spend
the weather?
money,
You
but
okay?
they
You feeling all right?
also fine, thanks. Doing my best over here at 40.
Okay.
I to give them a compliment, I feel like yes, they do spend money, but they also spend that money very well. They're like they do a good job. I feel like when it comes to player personnel. Obviously
Okay, so
there
they
are
put a competitive team on the field
yeah.
every year. Yes.
So
Yes.
obviously there can be some dips with that as, every season not all players pan out the way they need to. But like if you look at how they spend money and what they get out of it versus how the Mets spend money and what we're getting out of it, maybe we need a cap just to like save us from ourselves.
Hasn't looked good
You know what
for
I'm
the
saying?
Mets the last few years. No, you're right. You're right. Has not looked good for the Mets the
Yeah.
last 2 years. I mean, 13-game losing streak this season, which we have talked on a few times. Um, Not in last place anymore. And the
No,
NL
shockingly
East
enough.
after beating the Marlins this weekend, who swept you last weekend, so you owed them one. But second to last, right? Which looking at your payroll, we shouldn't have any
No.
conversation of the Mets being anywhere near last place or
That's why I
battling
do
to stay out of
laugh.
last place.
I do laugh at people who are like, "Well, you're just trying to buy a championship." Clearly, we're not. So, like, it doesn't happen for everybody. Like,
You're trying to buy the last place championship.
yeah,
And then last
and we're not
year,
even winning at that. We're second to last.
and then last year they didn't make the playoffs at all.
No,
One of the
lost to the
highest
Reds.
payrolls in baseball last year too. And it's just like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ryan, as a Yankee fan. I can't help but just revel in it. It's because listen,
I'm so nice to you, and this is
I
what you give back to me. It's
because this is
horrible.
really not directed towards you. You are,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, a fairly rational Mets fan and very down to earth, logical. I can have conversations with
True.
you about the Mets.
True.
But the Mets fans that were on the Yankees fans' asses after Juan Soto decided to sign with the Mets last offseason,
Mm-hmm.
I still hear about it. You know, if I was on Instagram the other day, right? I see Juan Soto, boom, hits a grand slam. Somebody in the comment section goes, "Look, Yankee fans so mad Juan Soto's successful." I'm like, bro, what are you talking?
First
How
off,
delusional are you that you
I
think
don't. Yeah, no.
we are thinking about the last place team
Yankee fans aren't
in
even
the
thinking
other
about Soto
league?
anymore.
Like,
Like, not a
we
thing.
have moved on. Like, I
Yeah,
promise you,
for
Ben
sure.
Rice wears the same number that Juan Soto wore when he was in pinstripe, and he's having a better year. We
He
don't
is.
care, dog. I promise you, we
No.
don't care. Like, but you know what? I'm removed from that. But I can talk to you. There's the other Mets fans that I can't have conversations with them about. But
Well, I think
the
there's
Mets
a
the Mets spend a lot of
yeah.
money and it just has not translated, right? So,
Oh.
but outside of the Mets, typically a lot of these teams that do spend a lot of money and they're like way above what the proposed salary cap would have been. I believe it's about 245 million, which
Mm-hmm.
woof. Yankees are already significantly above that. So instantly I'm like, damn, how would that affect them? A
Yeah.
lot of these other teams that put a lot of money into the teams, they're normally good. So I don't know why the Mets are the outlier there. You got to look at general manager there. I'm looking at you, David Stearns. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm not against it.
I
So
yeah.
where I feel like it would be beneficial for baseball is not necessarily a salary cap, but the salary floor. And I don't know if you can
Mm-hmm.
have one without the other, but really the problem in baseball are not the teams like the Dodgers, the Mets, the Yankees paying all this money. The problem are the teams like the Pirates, like
Mm,
the Marlins, like these
mm-hmm.
extremely like low payroll teams that are all under the 100 million threshold, $100 million threshold. Look at your owners and acts because these are like, listen, you have to be very rich to be the owner of a team. I don't know if you knew that. Like, you have to
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of fucking
What?
money.
What?
You have to be
That's
very
crazy.
rich. These owners have money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They might not have the same revenue coming in that team. I understand revenue. I understand that the Dodgers print money because they have
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani and they win
Mm-hmm.
championships.
Sure.
The Yankees brand sells itself.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that there are levels to this,
Mets
but
are questionable.
I don't know what the Mets have exactly.
It's not
Um,
great. I mean,
but
just
these,
fan wise coming to the,
yeah.
yeah, it's not the best.
But these lower payroll teams, it's not like these owners don't have the money to spend on the team, is what I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting at, right?
They just
So
choose not to.
they choose not to. So
Mm-hmm.
I think the salary floor is more necessary than the cap. Get these teams that don't spend money to do so. There's no reason why a lot of these teams and this is why like
Mm-hmm.
you have teams like the Pittsburgh Pirates, right? They have, I mean, debatably a top two pitcher in the game in Paul Skeens. Most people would say he's the best pitcher in the game right now. But a lot of
Mm-hmm.
the conversation around them has been, and not this year, to their credit, they've been a lot better this year. They actually have really good pitching on that team. But historically they've been bad and people just looked at the team and thought they were going to continue that trend. So
Mm-hmm.
the second Paul Skeens became good, which was right as he got in the league, instantly trade talks around him, right?
Mm.
Are the Pirates going to deal him? Are the Pirates going to deal him? Because they don't re-sign talent. They don't get good
Mm,
talent and pay them, right? Same thing that the Detroit Tigers are about to do with Tariq Skubal.
mhm,
Again, top 3 pitcher in the league right now. The Tigers are bad.
mhm,
Tariq Skubal is in a walk year. I believe he's a free agent coming up. So they're gonna get rid of him. They're not gonna. Well,
mhm.
first he's not gonna resign there. But even a team like Detroit, they typically don't pay their players, and that is more a detriment to the league, in my opinion, right now than it is with these
Mhm.
teams that just dole out money to their players.
Do you think if this goes through, we're going to see a walkout?
It won't go through because both sides have to agree to it.
Mm.
And I don't think that the Players Association, it already came out that they don't want that. And I mean, in fairness to them, if I was a player, I wouldn't want that shit either. There's no salary cap, which means there is no limit on how much money I can get paid.
Yeah,
Juan
but
Soto got paid
no,
$765 million.
okay.
Kyle
But
Tucker
like,
got a ridiculous contract with the Dodgers, and he's not even playing halfway to that contract right now. These players don't want their money messed with. And if that means having a salary cap is going to do that for them, they're not gonna be on board
but I
with that.
also just feel like, okay, so you're getting paid 700 and some $1 million. What's the difference between that and 500 million? Like, if you really think about it, what's the difference? You're
A
losing out
lot,
on 200 million. It's
a
not though.
lot, a
It's
lot.
not. In the
Eh,
grand scheme of your life, you really think that $200 million is really going to make the difference for you? Oh my
That's
God. Well,
exactly
I
what
didn't
they
think I could do.
think. I'm gonna
That's
I'm gonna
the
tell you
dumbest
that's
shit I've ever heard in
exactly
my
what they
life.
think.
That's so
Yes.
stupid. That's so
But they
stupid.
have families too, Ryan. They have people in their lives. They have,
Ray,
they have generations to take care of
you
too.
would
They're not just thinking
still
about their
be
lifetime.
making
I'm telling you how the
$500
players think.
million.
I'm telling you.
That's
This is how they
irrational.
think. This is how they
This
think.
is irrational thinking. We need to change this. Like, that's the part I can't get down with. I can get down with, like, you know, people feeling concerned about salary cap, but players being like, oh, I'm not making enough money. Okay, sure.
Listen.
I think that's just ludicrous thinking.
Think about it like this, right? The Mets offered Juan Soto 15 years, $765 million.
That's
Okay.
insane.
The Yankees, in contrast, offered him 1 year less, 14 years, and I believe their offer was $750 million. Doesn't sound like a big discrepancy, right?
It's really not.
He left the team that he just made the World Series with to go to the Mets for a few more $1 million, Ryan. Like, these
And
players do it
I think
all the
that
time.
he would look at you now and say, that was a mistake.
He would never do that. He's
He
too
should.
prideful. He would never do that.
But why wouldn't you
Nah.
admit that? You would finally admit that that was a mistake just for a couple more $1 million. You're like, the chances of the Mets getting a ring, I don't even like.
Maybe he personally feels like he signed a 15-year contract and he's in year 2 of that contract. Maybe he still feels like it's too early to say that it was a mistake. I bet you he would look at you and say, "What have the Yankees done since I left?"
Well, they made it further in the playoffs than you did last year, so they actually
But
went
what
to the
did that? But
playoffs.
what did that get? I'm telling you, this is how these athletes think. They ended up in the same place that his team ended up,
I
realistically,
don't.
at the end of the day. But listen, there's more that comes to playing with the Yankees too. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm
Put
not
your
gonna get
hand
into
in
it.
my face. Listen, at the end of the
That was
day,
towards Juan Soto. I'm not gonna get into it.
I think that to me, all this does is just take away from team unity and team sports. And I really feel
Hmm.
like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but to me, baseball feels the least like a team sport than any of the other majors sports to me, because it's so individualized at times of like what you do. But I feel like that's so reflected in like salary and making money too. Like, how many baseball players have really taken a cut so that other people can come to the team?
I'm watching the Yankees play one right now. They actually were talking about it earlier in their broadcast. Now
All
he's
right.
an outlier, right? But Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians, they were talking about like he's on the trajectory to the Hall of Fame. And he has consistently taken on less money. He should be paid. I don't know what his contract looks like exactly, but he's underpaid. For what he does for
Okay.
that team on a year in and year out basis, he's underpaid. And that was deliberate to get more players to come there. But again, in your defense, he is the outlier there. Like
But
that
I
is
just
very
feel like
atypical of players
I see more players in other sports take cuts
than
for
in
changes
baseball.
to happen than in baseball. To me,
I'm inclined to agree with you. Yeah.
that feels like something that's like not realistic for baseball.
Hmm.
And I just don't, I mean, to me,
But I think part of
so
that is
many of the
just
players
because
just look like assholes. Like
I
when
think
you
that's
bring
because
up that
baseball
money
money is
conversation,
crazy. Baseball
well,
money is
but you sound like
crazy.
an asshole because not to mention all the money you make outside of your actual
Endorsements
deal
and
in the sport,
well, that's
you
why
know.
Shohei Ohtani could afford for essentially his entire contract to be deferred for 10 years. Because if you look at his contract strictly through the Dodgers, I believe they are only paying him $2 million a year. Two
All right,
million
that's
because they
low.
d-
I'll
the
admit
big
that.
but I mean his contract was insane though.
Sure.
All they did was
No.
defer all the money so that they have to pay him later. So the money that they are paying him now yearly, it's like $2 million. But when you look at Shohei Ohtani, the money
Sure.
that he makes off field and endorsements
Yeah.
is the only reason that he allowed his contract to be deferred in this way because he's making more money in endorsements than he would have made even if they had paid him all of that money up front on a year by year basis. Like
I
he makes crazy
remember
money.
when Ohtani got signed to the Dodgers, and I immediately texted you, and I was like, is he
You asked me,
worth
yeah, yeah,
all of
yeah,
this money? Because I
yeah.
couldn't, because, you know, it's so, but obviously because of the salary cap, this is the difference in what we're seeing is that when you
Yeah,
look at other sports, these deals are, first off, you would never, also, I think the other thing that's really unrealistic is, yeah, you can play 15 years in baseball. That's not a guarantee in almost any other major sport. That's silly.
true, true,
Like, you know,
very
not to say
true.
that baseball players aren't athletic and don't, because like they are. I mean,
Less
not all pitchers most of
just
the
being
time, but
blunt, it's less of a toll on your body than the other sports. It's not a
yeah,
contact sport. It's not as physical. That's so yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So,
Longevity is a lot easier in baseball.
and I just look at like the amounts of money and it's just crazy in comparison
It is
to, and we did
insane.
that on the pod when we looked at all the different average salary caps. And especially when you looked at the NHL and you were like, oh my God, these guys are making like nothing
In
compared to,
comparison,
you know, in comparison to football, basketball, especially baseball. I mean, you can't even, I don't even know who the highest paid player in the NFL is, but it's not even close to touching the highest paid baseball player.
on a yearly basis, I'm actually
Maybe.
curious.
But if you're looking at, that might be true.
I'm
That
actually
might be true.
curious. If you look at Shohei Otani's like contract up front, I believe he was 10 years, 700 million.
Yeah.
So like 70
Okay.
million a
All
year.
right. So maybe that's when you look at it that way, it is more comparable, but it just,
Yeah.
you throw out that number
700
and
million
it
though,
just
Ryan.
sounds insane.
700 million.
I don't think anybody
And
is
they're
worth
paying that
$700
all on the
million.
back end. But you want
No
to know what's
athlete is worth
insane?
that.
What's
Sorry.
insane to me is like they signed him to that contract. They've won the World Series the last 2 years.
Mhm.
Realistically, that contract's already paid for, bro.
It's already done. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and money well
They've
spent
already
for
paid for it
sure.
winning.
You know,
Absolutely. You said, was he worth that money? Guess what? They won the
yes,
last two World Series
the
with him.
answer
So
is
I guess
yes.
it fucking was.
Yeah, yeah.
Straight up.
I, I just think that I do feel like there needs to be reins put on baseball. I'm just not sure what that looks like for that particular
Yeah.
sport. But I do think that it, I think what makes me sad is that it just like those underdog teams, those teams, and yes, their owners could pay more. That's, I mean, certainly that's a discussion to be had for sure. But I just look at that and I'm like, how sad is that? Because like, what chance do you have? Like, I don't know. It makes
No, they
me
don't
like,
have a
you know,
chance. Put in a
doesn't,
floor. Put in a salary floor.
yeah. I don't disagree with you on that. I think that's something that's probably necessary. I mean, you can't help who your owner is. Like, just, you
Nope.
know,
Unless you're a free agent. No, you can't.
because if you could, the Jets would have gotten rid of Woody a long time ago. So, like, you know, I I do think though that you should. I think we really should talk about that though. If your franchise is so horrible after a certain period of time, you have to sell the team. There's no like there should be bylaws in there somewhere. You
Yeah,
can
or
still make
maybe the
money. Why do you
organization
care?
can like vote you out or something. But
They should.
I guess then the question is like who would want to maybe there's no one that wants to buy that team.
I
Maybe
don't
there is
know.
no one that
You know
exists that
what,
wants to
Ray?
buy
If
that
I
team.
had a weird amount of money, like a couple billion, I would buy a team for
I
sure.
absolutely would.
I would absolutely buy a
Absolutely
sports
would.
team. That's not even a
Absolutely.
question.
But
I would
what is
definitely do
I've
it.
always wondered what like besides having money,
Yeah,
what is the criteria for being able to own a team?
I don't
Is
think there
that
is one.
it?
I
Because
think
I
that's
feel
it.
like some of these owners don't know shit about the sport
Highest bidder.
of
But
which
that's the
team they
thing
own.
is you buy in my opinion, how you are the best owners are the owners that know that they don't have all the answers. So you hire the best people.
Is
That's
it
why
the
like
is it the Colts female owner that's like
mhm,
on the field, like taking notes and like
yep.
observing the games on the field? I think that
Mhm.
is the coolest shit ever, bro.
I do too, and I think it's it's much I'm not usually a fan of owners coming down to the field, like Jerry Jones will do that a lot, I don't like it because
Mm,
I think it distracts, I think it's a distraction, but I think when you do it as an observer, you're not trying to interject anything, you're just looking at how everything's running, I'll tolerate that a little bit more,
yeah.
but I just think, like, there's so many owners that I feel don't know what they're doing, aren't hiring the correct personnel to make sure that what is happening is what is meant to be happening. You don't have to do it all as an owner, but you do have to surround yourself with people who have the same philosophy that you do. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes that's the problem I have with a lot of like hedge fund managers is your philosophy is how do we make this team profitable? And yeah, that's certainly a part of what you have to do, but it's also about like what is the legacy of your team? What do you want it to promote? Like who do you want on it to like push, the values of what you have forward? I
And how do
think
you wanna
that's
be remembered as an owner?
yep,
Like,
yep.
maybe these guys don't think about that, but,
I
like,
don't think they think about it enough.
legacies can be
Or they're
left by
delusional.
owners as well,
For sure.
and a lot of these owners leave, like, just terrible legacies where it's just like, we think about that period of time where you were the owner, and it's not a pleasant memory,
No,
but some
it's not.
owners, like, don't care about how they'll be remembered,
No.
how their team's gonna be remembered during their tenure of owning that
Mhm.
team, and it shows in the standings every
Mhm.
year, so
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the things that really appeals to me about being a Packer fan is we don't have an owner. We are the,
yeah, you've touched on that
fans
before,
who,
yeah.
and I think that that's really cool. And I think that some of the best owners are ones that really do want to work with everybody and don't try to control everything. I think that's the downfall of Jerry Jones, which is you are also the GM. And I got to tell you haven't won a Super Bowl and I don't even know how long. So maybe you should hire somebody else to do. Like I don't know how we have to
Yeah,
how many people we have to go down before somebody's last name isn't Jones, but like I think that that serves as a reminder of like it's very important to surround yourself with people who really know what they're doing and
yeah.
believe what you do. And I think with baseball, I think it's very easy to get lost in spending money, money, money all the time. But I think the Mets are the greatest example of you spent all of this money and what do you have? You're not in last place in the division. You're second to last. Like
Which could
I
change
just
as soon as tomorrow.
sure. So I think that's a prime example of why the culture there, player culture is so bad. Is because there is no unity. It's just who's the highest, who can we pay the most to come here
Mhm,
to just do the
mhm.
one thing that they're good at. Not how can we collectively make this team improve, you know?
Yeah.
So
I think the Yankees fell victim to that a few years too, though, honestly. Like, you saying that actually just resonated with me a lot.
mhm,
But I will say one thing about the Yankees, man, like, a lot of people complain about how Steinbrenner, how, like, George would be real upset about how the way the team was being run now. He's turning over in his grave looking at this team, but I just say Yankees fans are like just some of the most spoiled and entitled like
mhm.
fans. Like it frustrates me being a Yankee fan sometimes because I look at the team and I recognize that like no, we haven't won a World Series. That does frustrate me. But guess what? We also never have a losing season. Yes, it is frustrating as fuck to fall short in the playoffs time and time again. No one knows that better than me. I watch every fucking game, y'all. I get it. I do. But I also watch every game during the regular season too. And it's nice to know that on most nights, we have a good fucking chance to win that game. We haven't had a losing season in over 30 years. Give me that owner 10 times out of 10 compared to some of these owners that I see on these other teams. For real. I appreciate Hal Steinbrenner for at least making attempts to put a winning product on the field year after year.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see how that all unfolds. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to go very far, but perhaps this is just the beginning stages of implementing something like that down the line.
I fully
don't
expect a
know,
lockout. Yeah, I fully expect a lockout.
Rough. Well, we're going to close out today's show by giving our picks for the NBA Finals. Ray, I'll let you start because I don't really know what you're thinking. I think you know what I'm thinking, so I'm much easier to read, but I'll let you start.
You know what? It's going to be a great finals. A few weeks ago, my answer to this would have been completely different, but I've seen too much from the Knicks this last month and a half. They completely ran through the East. I understand that they beat the Hawks first round. I understand the Sixers were banged up. I understand the Cavs are not the Celtics and the Cavs are not the Pistons. I get all of these things, but the Knicks were winning these games by 30 and 40 points, people. I mean, it wasn't like they were beating the 9th and the 10th seeds in these playoffs. I mean, the teams that were in the playoffs ahead of them were good. They were playoff teams. They were beating them handily every game by 30. So that being said, I'm going Spurs in 6 because I still don't think the Knicks got enough to beat them. I'm sorry. The Spurs got Wemby, and I've seen what he can do. When he's good, he's great. I'm not picking against the Spurs. You crazy out of your mind?
That was
Spurs
fantastic.
in 6. Spurs in 6. They close out the NBA Finals in Madison Square Garden, Game 6. Yes, I said it.
Agreed. You took my pick, Spurs in 6. That's mine. Much less dramatic. That was great. That was really great. You had me there for a moment. For a moment, I was like,
a little
"Oh my gosh,
build
have the tides turned?" No, I think the Knicks are gonna implode. So Spurs in 6.
But
I think there are going to be games that are competitive, which I'm excited about. But I do think in the end the Knicks will fold.
I'm going Spurs in 6. Would not be surprised if the series goes 7. But I'm picking Spurs.
Something to be said for that.
I'm picking the Spurs either way.
Yeah, Spurs in 6. Let's go San Antonio. Never thought I'd say that out loud, but here we are. And, it strikes me as I'm trying to think of like what team would have had to go against the Knicks for me to root for the Knicks. And I really don't know who that would have been. I don't know. Maybe Dallas. I don't like Dallas.
I was going to say, do you dislike West teams? Well, Dallas didn't make it, but you're just saying generally.
If Luka had been on Dallas, I would have rooted against Dallas. I did root against them when they went for like no good reason.
So the Lakers make it with a healthy Luka, and but LeBron's there, so you kind of can't, right? You can't.
You know what?
You got to think that
I'm gonna say this to you, and you're gonna be like really upset about it.
Well, okay.
I would root for the Knicks if they were up against Golden State.
What?
I know.
In the pod, bro.
I don't like
in the pod, bro. What?
I don't like Draymond Green.
Wow.
No. I probably would have. I probably wouldn't have wanted Golden State to take it.
I have no words. I have no words for that. That, you know what? We didn't do a trash cans, but that, my friend, that is trash cans.
I don't like Golden State. Why are you like mad about this?
I'm actually shocked. You see that 30 behind me? You see that 30? You gonna root against that?
Yes.
I can't believe you.
Without question. And without any hesitation either. Yes.
Against the Knicks of all teams. Wow.
I know. I would have yeah. So there you go. That's yeah.
See y'all next week.
Later.